YouTube or pharmaceutical tube, whatever you want to call it, gulag tube. So I have been making some videos, as I've told you, on a lot of other YouTube productions. I've been making some videos and I've been putting them in different places. And the most recent place that I have been putting my videos is Telegram. And you can see, over there, you can see up there on the chat, I've given you the link to join my Telegram channel where you can find new lessons. And this is because I won't be making any educational products for Pharmaceutical Tube. And that's because I don't like them. Yeah, I don't like what they're doing to the world. I think they're leading us all to a dystopia. And when you're convinced of this, and I've been convinced of this pretty much since March 2020, so that's more than a year now, a year and a half really, it means that you don't want to help promote Pharmaceutical Tube, and you certainly don't want to help promote the dystopian society that we've already reached. And so thought and education has to go underground. Let's be honest, it's not going on in the schools anymore, or it still is slightly, but they're going to mask up the teachers and the kids in about a month or 2 months. They're going to force them into masks, and they're going to put a physical barrier between the teacher and the student. That mask, yeah, that physical barrier will be there between the teacher and the student, and so there will be far less learning, and there'll be far less education, and the children will suffer. And so we need some place away from Pharmaceutical Tube, away from the digital gulag, where people can still learn something. And so my Telegram channel is one place that you can go, although I'm sure there are plenty of other places where education and lessons have gone underground, and it's because they're being repressed. Yeah, they're being forced out. Education in general, learning is being oppressed here, and it's something which I'm obviously really against. And that's why, guys, go and find me on other channels. I'm still going to be working. I'm not going to stop teaching. I think grammar is really important. And I think that all kids have a right to learn about grammar, just like they have a right to learn about mathematics. And this is why certainly I'll be carrying on doing lessons, but you need to move away from Pharmaceutical Tube and join places like Telegram, although I'm sure there are hundreds of others. And if you go and join Telegram on that link that I've just given you up there, it's at the bottom there. That t.me link is a Telegram link. If you join my group, you will get new classes all the time. There are already 2 new phrasal verb videos, and they're actually from the course that I will be selling on Udemy. But I will continue to make free lessons because education is very important to me, and it's something that I think justifies itself. And that's why I certainly don't want to see any kind of barriers being created, being promoted by idiots in Westminster and by pharmaceutical companies that don't want the children to learn anything anymore. And they want the children to have some kind of barrier in front of them. And each one of these people that are promoting this ridiculous, stupid idea that having a barrier in front of your face is going to stop you from dying, all of these people promoting that ridiculous idea, they grew up with a normal childhood. Yeah, they didn't wear masks when they were at school. They weren't coerced into having some kind of poisonous drug. They were not coerced into that. And so all of these adults, these idiotic adults that didn't have to suffer in any way when they were growing up and they were given a free education, they're now campaigning, well, the idiots in Westminster anyway, and the idiots in Pharmaceutical Tube, they're now campaigning to make sure that our children, yeah, and that includes my children, don't get any education, don't get any free lessons. And it really, really makes me angry. Yeah. And that's why I ain't going to make anything for Pharmaceutical Tube. No way. All of my classes will be up on Telegram or other places, other platforms that are not bought and paid for by AstraZeneca and by Johnson & Johnson. Yeah, and by Pfizer and all the other arseholes that have totally destroyed our world. As far as I'm concerned, these are the people responsible There are other people responsible as well, but for ruining children's education. And it's absolutely disgusting. They're also ruining children's mental development. They're also attacking children mentally and physically now with their vaccine squads. So this is why a lot of people will go on to other platforms, underground platforms, basically, because education in this society is not allowed, not free education, which involves free speech, actually. Yeah, free education, free speech is absolutely vital for free education. If you don't have free speech, you don't actually have education. And you certainly don't have the ability for people to look at different ideas, doubt that they're true, test them, discuss them, argue the pros, argue the cons. We're not allowed to do that. Certainly not on the on pharmaceutical tube. Thou shalt not question the masters in the media, in government, and in big pharma. And so those three places, I don't want to go anywhere near them. As far as I'm concerned, they all disgust me. And the people that are working for these organizations absolutely disgust me. I have no sympathy for them whatsoever. I hope that they suffer. I really do, because they're making other people suffer. And when you make other people suffer, children, when you take away their lessons, you make people angry. You make parents like me extremely angry. And all we can wish for you is suffering and death. Yeah, there's nothing else left for us. And so, sorry to go on about all of this stuff, but this is all you're going to get on Pharmaceutical Tube, because it's all Pharmaceutical Tube deserve. Bear in mind, I've spent years and years and years, more than a decade, making stuff, education, for Pharmaceutical Tube before it became Pharmaceutical Tube. And now I'm punished. And that's all. I'm just punished for opening my mouth and saying what thoughts immediately come to mind. I'm punished for that. And that's why I want nothing to do with this disgusting organization that, you know, has one aim and one aim only, and that is enriching their friends, their fascist friends, in big pharma, in government, and in other areas that are disgusting areas. Yeah, disgusting parts of society. And so this is all I've got to say about Pharmaceutical Tube. So please, what are you doing, guys? Come to the underground places where real education still happens, where real lessons still happen, where you're not going to get any effing masks ever, I promise, because, I mean, I'm not that stupid that I would think that doing that all day will help me stay healthy. Yeah, I'm not that bloody stupid. And we're making the kids, we're trying to teach the kids to be that stupid. And that's just disgusting. You know, I mean, most kids aren't that stupid. They must be looking at the adults at the moment and thinking, what the hell is going on? And they're right to. They're absolutely right to. They must be looking at all these idiotic adults walking around scared to death of microorganisms and walking around like that all the time. So yes, I have a Telegram channel, Kamal. In fact, if you look above, you'll see the link for, or you look below, you'll see the link for the Telegram channel. Yeah, let me put it again for you. There it is. Yeah, that's the link for the Telegram channel, guys. Yeah, that's the link for the Telegram channel. But I'll put it under the video as well. And you can go and join, you can go and subscribe to Telegram, and you will get a free education, which is what we all deserve. Yeah, we all deserve a free education. And the only reason that kids aren't getting it at the moment is because of the kiddie jibbers in Parliament that need to be hanged. I'm not going to stop saying that. And that's because I know that I am justified in arguing that position. And one day when the kids are older, they will see that that's certainly what needed to have happened. Yeah, and it would have stopped all of this rubbish. I mean, being honest, if teachers had just managed to ignore their idiotic unions that are just under the control of the pharmaceutical companies, if teachers had just stood up and said, no, we're not going to wear masks, we're not going to sit here and let you jab them, we're on strike until this gets sorted out. If they had done that, I actually think it would have saved us a lot of bother, but it was very hard for them. And it's because there's a digital manipulation going on. And so it's very hard for them to come together as a group, to band together. There's a good phrasal verb. It's very hard for them to band together and fight back against the power of the pharmaceutical idiots. But yeah, that's basically why the teachers weren't able to put up more of a fight. But anyway, you can come onto these other platforms, guys. Come to my Telegram channel. Obviously, I have a podcast as well now, and that's doing really well. I'm very pleased with the numbers there, which keep going up. I'm going to make a podcast in a little while, and I actually see it as a very useful method for teaching English. And so I'm certainly going to carry on using that, but I won't stop making video lessons. I will stop making them. I have stopped making them for Pharmaceutical Tube. So if you're here expecting more lessons from Mr. Skype Lessons for the benefit of Pfizer and AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson, then you're wasting your time. Come to the other platforms. Come to the platforms that are not fascists. Come to the platforms that are not totalitarians. Come to the platforms where I can say whatever the hell I like. And it's there that you'll learn something. It's not on these platforms that won't even let Irish doctors speak. Yeah, remember a few weeks ago when I put a video up and got a strike, yeah, for sharing the opinion of 6 or 7 Irish doctors? That's what happens when you actually spread information which is real, which is true, which is from an expert, from the horse's mouth. You are punished because they want the children to be poisoned. The pharmaceutical idiots want the children to be poisoned. And that's why I'm so bloody angry, guys, yeah? And if you're not angry, you can't see what's going on. You're blind. You're either blind or ignorant. I'm sorry. It's a time to be angry. There's nothing wrong with being angry, actually. It's human nature to get angry, especially when people are oppressing you, when people are attacking you, and when people are attacking your family members. So it's normal to get angry, especially, I mean, attacking children. I mean, of course you're going to get angry. And anybody can see that this is what's going on. Children's education is being destroyed. And it's being destroyed all across the globe, absolutely everywhere. So we need to find underground platforms where we're still allowed to teach our kids so that they don't turn out like effing idiots like a lot of the adult population at the moment. Because a lot of the adult population immediately believed the media, the pharmaceutical tube, the government, the ministers. They immediately believed them when they told them to start putting a barrier in front of their face. Yeah, like that's going to really, really help them. That's going to make them survive a bit longer. They believed them. And it's astonishing to me that anyone could believe a journalist or a politician. We've known for thousands and thousands of years that these are the two least trustworthy professions. And yet everybody has just gone along with it all, kind of saluted them and walked along, goose marching, yeah, just marched along behind them when they took away education from the kids. Yeah, when they closed down all the schools and when they said, okay, kids won't be able to see their teachers' mouths anymore. How would you guys feel if I covered up my mouth every single English class so that you couldn't see what my mouth and my tongue was doing? Yeah, how would you feel? Would that make it easier to learn English, or would that make it a bloody nightmare? Would it mean that you learned the same, or would it mean that you learned about 10% of what you usually learn? Yeah, that's what's going on. They're all wearing, the kids are being forced to wear them. The teachers will be forced to wear them. Give it a month, it'll be back again. Some idiot, some absolute twat in Parliament will be saying how wonderful they are. And of course, he won't wear them himself when he's seeing his friends. You'll notice that by just watching the media. They never wear them themselves when they're in their free time because they know that they're a waste of time. And if you're wearing them yourself in your free time, you're literally being manipulated by some of the most idiotic and disgusting people ever. So please don't do it, guys. Anybody, in my opinion, wearing a mask out on the street, I'm sorry, but it shows a real lack of critical thinking. Yeah, think about how big a microorganism is and think about how big the holes in your mask are. The only way you're going to stop a microorganism getting in there is by putting a plastic sealed something to seal your mouth shut and your nose and your nostrils. That would work, but you will die immediately from lack of oxygen. And so the idea that you're able to keep microorganisms away from that area, away from entering that area, yeah, I'm sorry. It's so obvious. I'm a grammar teacher and it's so obvious to me. I'm not a scientist. And it's so obvious. Oh, it's enough to make your head explode what's going on at the moment. It really is. Anyway, Telegram channel, guys. I could say it all day. I'll probably be along tomorrow to say it. Anybody who wants new lessons, come to my Telegram channel. Thought is going underground. Real thinking has gone underground. It's not allowed to show its face anymore because real thinking involves no censorship. It involves no restrictions of what you are allowed to say and what you aren't allowed to say, what you are allowed to think and what you aren't allowed to think. And that's gone underground. It's not allowed on PharmaTube. It's not allowed in the digital gulag. We are being restricted. We are being forced into believing the most ridiculous of things. And of course, it's not necessary. If we just go on into other places where thought can still be free, it really is, it's still out there. There's still freedom out there and there's still thought out there. It's just not in the newspapers. It's not in Parliament. And it's certainly not in the schools. It's in other places. It's hiding at the moment. So somebody's just said it's like throwing sand at a chain fence. Yeah, that's a decent analogy. I mean, it's like a tennis. It's like when you play tennis, that net, which you can put your hand through. It's expecting that net to stop mosquitoes from flying through it. Of course, it doesn't. It doesn't because the holes are big. Anyone buying all of that rubbish, it is quite literally shocking. Now, personally, somebody's just said that's why I took my son from school. Now, personally, I don't believe that that's a good idea. And that's because I think that children, all children, deserve what we had, which is an education system where you don't have to learn everything that you ever learned from your parents. Yeah. And if you take your son from the school, then you're giving them an education which is only from mum and dad. And I don't believe in that. I'm never going to defend homeschooling. I've never homeschooled my child. Okay. Of course, sometimes I talk to them about educational topics, but I do not homeschool my child. And that's because I believe that all children have a right to learn about the world from many different people, from many different sources, and it will be much better for them. And this is why I won't homeschool my child. I tell my child exactly what I think about masks and exactly what I think about the digital gulag. And I tell my child that she has certainly every right to never, ever wear a mask. And I say the same to both my son and my daughter, that they have the right to never, ever wear a mask. And that's everybody's God-given right to decide whether they put that on or not. And so, of course, I leave it up to them. I really do. And of course, I talk to the school and tell them that this is my position. And that's what you should do as well, Elki. I don't think you should take your son out of school. I mean, do you have that much time that you can teach your child every day? Are you unemployed? Most people don't have that opportunity to take their child out of school. And it's not an opportunity anyway, because they would only learn from you. And so please don't think that for a second I am in favour of homeschooling. I am not. I am in favour of having proper schools, which we used to. I am in favour of having teachers that don't care about politics and pharmaceuticals, that only care about having their topic, about teaching their subject. That's what I'm in favour of. And I'm in favour of kids having a variety of sources in terms of information. Okay, I wouldn't say that it makes weirdos personally. I mean, I'm sure that some come out of homeschooling very okay, and some not so much. But this is, for me, it's about a philosophical position. And my philosophical position is that children should have multiple sources of information, just like they should have multiple books and they should study English from multiple different sources, or foreign languages from multiple different sources. This is why I don't think homeschooling is a good idea. Yeah, I think, if I were the only person involved in my kids' education, that would be terrible. Yeah. Okay, I could teach them grammar, but could I teach them much about other things? And could I show them that there is a variety of opinions out there? No, because it would just be my opinion. And so I'm not in favour of homeschooling. I'm in favour of kids working at home. That's doing homework. Yeah, why not? Why shouldn't kids do homework? Of course, they should sometimes. And so, yeah, I'm in favour of that. But I'm not in favour of mum and dad being the only teachers for the kids. Now, if you're able to homeschool your kids so that they get a variety of teachers, a variety of opinions, that's great. But I assume that not many people are, because, you'd have to have no job. Yeah, you'd have to be unemployed, really, and you'd have to be able to devote 100% of your time to making sure that your kids got a variety of information. You'd need quite a bit of money, yeah, because you'd need a lot of private teachers in order that they don't just learn their, I don't know, biological knowledge from you or their physics knowledge from you, because of course these are very specific disciplines, and it would be good to get somebody in who's good at the discipline, yeah. So this has been quite a long stream. Let's see, has anybody come along to my Telegram channel as we're speaking? I'm not sure. Let me see. Have a look at my phone. Where is it? I'm not very quick with this yet. I'm obviously getting used to stuff like that. Okay, I think I've had 3 new people that have just come along and signed up to the Telegram channel. Look, there you can see it. So please, come along, guys. There's no reason for us to stick about on YouTube. It's absolutely unnecessary, and I don't think that it's good for us, good for anybody. I don't know if I imagine quite a few of you have probably given up looking at media sources recently, and I can understand why. You feel like somebody's just trolling you, like somebody's just trying to wind you up. And of course they are. The media are trying to provoke you. And so I can understand why people give up many of these platforms. Well, we should give up FarmerTube. Yeah, we should give it up. There's no reason for us to be here anymore. We can move. It's literally a click away. Yeah, it just takes one click to move to another platform. That's all. I've given you the click. Look, I'll give you it again. Here's the link, guys. That's it. Click on that. Click on that, and then we go to a different platform. And this platform's available on your phone. It's available everywhere. I'm not saying that this is the only platform. It's probably not even a good one for all I know. I've never used Telegram before, but it's one that somebody suggested, and it's one that I can put videos on. So why not? Why not? There's also the podcast, though. Please don't forget the podcast, because there's also that. So somebody's asking me, what is your Telegram account? I've put the link up now 4 times, guys. Come on. Yeah, the link, here it is again. Look, there it is. Yeah. So please, if you're looking for my Telegram account, all you need to do is click that. Yeah, that's all you need to do. Okay, please come and find my podcast as well for new lessons. That's where new lessons are going to be. When they go out, they communicate. So I'm just going to read out a couple of comments today. When they go out, they communicate with others and connect with others. And that adds up to their personality. That adds to, no up there actually. That adds to their personality. I have seen many children who got, I have known many children who had homeschooling, and they lack communication skills, I think is what the Maharaja is saying there. Okay, that's your opinion. I don't know if I would always necessarily agree. It does depend on the child, and it does depend on their experiences. I'm sure that there are a lot of different experiences of homeschooling, but really, I'm not for homeschooling. I'm for putting all the people responsible for our digital gulag, putting all of those guys in prison and then getting the schools working again. I mean, if people want to learn at home, it's not something that I would say should be illegal. Certainly not. I'm not someone who says all children should be at school. It should be down to the parents, just like it should be down to the parents to decide what medical procedures the child has. But we don't have that luxury anymore. It's the state that decides. It's all of those people in Westminster with no medical background whatsoever that decide on what medical procedures children should have. And so it's those guys that need to go to prison. It's those guys that need to be on the gallows hanging from a rope. Yeah, it's those guys. Simple as that. Let's have another. We've had another comment. Don't know what that means, I'm afraid. Yeah, that Russian word doesn't mean anything to me. Perhaps I've just missed that word in my vocabulary, but I'm afraid I don't know what that means. So thanks everybody for watching. This has just been one big 25-minute long advert, because this is an advertising platform. I don't know if you've noticed, but this is a platform that specializes in advertising and not in English lessons. So this is why we need to head away from the advertisers, yeah, and head to places where there's zero advertising and where you can just join my group and you can learn something new every single day, yeah, or more or less. I think I'll be making lessons every day, but we will see. Okay, so thanks everybody for listening to this advert. You know where to go. You know where I want you to go. I want you to come to Telegram. Telegram is the next place where I'm doing classes, but please come to my podcast as well. My podcast is here. Perhaps I'll give you a quick look of the podcast. It's on Anchor FM. Let's just get that sorted. Put that down there. This is my podcast. It's right here, guys, and maybe I'll even show it to you. Stop screen sharing, share screen, Chrome tab. Here it is. This is my podcast. So you can come to my podcast as well if you would like new classes. Yeah, there are lots of new classes. There's been one on tenses. If you're not listening to my podcast, you've missed a lesson on tenses. You've missed a lesson on possessive gerunds. You've missed a lesson on complex gerunds and infinitives. And if you've not joined on my Telegram, you've missed 2 new phrasal verb lessons. And so that's where you go for lessons, guys, not pharmaceutical tube. Okay, so thanks for listening to my advert or my rant, whatever you want to call it. And please come and find me on Telegram or on Anchor FM. And anybody who likes what I'm doing and would like to show their appreciation, they can come to Fountain FM and send me some Bitcoin, because that's what I like, guys. I like Bitcoin. Even if you send me 1 penny, I've said this before, even if you send me 1 penny, yeah, or half a penny, yeah, 50 sats or something like that, I will be delighted, because it shows me that the Bitcoin network is growing stronger, and that's what I want to see. Okay, so thanks everybody for watching. I will see you all soon on Telegram or on Anchor FM. Okay,